I think the job of being a teacher is so rewarding in so many ways.
The connection between you and the whole class, that's still unbeatable.
When my pupils are successful, it feels incredible.
I think the greatest thing for me is seeing the pupils that I teach love the subject as much as I do.
I don't think there's any other job where you get the same satisfaction.
That's why I chose to teach.
You could get £26,000 tax-free to train. Search Apply to Teach. Selected subjects only, subject to eligibility.
The Gamertag Radio Store is open. Get your limited edition GTR shirts, long sleeves, and hoodies right now. These are limited edition and will no longer be available after 12/31. So get one right now before they're all gone. And it's super easy. Go to store.gamertagradio.com. That's store.gamertagradio.com.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen. Podcasting since 2005. You're listening to Gamertag Radio. With your host, podcaster Hall of Famer Danny Pena, the always opinionated Paris Lilly, and from outside of the norm, Peter Toledo. This is Gamertag Radio.
Here we go.
Grounds. Gonna talk about that. You haven't played it yet, right? For the console?
Yeah, I don't have Xbox, so no, I haven't played it.
But have you played for the PC?
Yeah, I played
multiple. Okay. And also we have Pete. He is the person that's known to play this game nonstop.
Peter Unknown.
Yes, there you go. Pete, Playerunknown, man. Battlegrounds out for Xbox One.
Yes.
We played it for a couple hours together.
Yes.
Once we get back home, we definitely gonna play some more. Hit us up. Anybody's listening to the podcast, definitely would like to try some duels, some squad matches and stuff, and let's definitely do that. So let's talk about this, Pete. Mm-hmm. You're a fan of Battlegrounds.
Yes.
Let's go from there, man. You experienced this a couple days ago.
Played it on my day one Xbox One.
The OG.
Microwave.
The
microwave.
OG, yes. So it was not an Xbox One S or X.
Actually,
it's the original one.
Right, and I'm actually purchased an Xbox One S, and it's shipping, and it'll arrive. By the time this airs, I will have had it. Specifically so that when I'm playing, PUBG, I'll get a better experience.
Yes.
Playing PUBG on the day one highlighted a technical concern with regards to how the game is portrayed. Mm-hmm. I had this concern earlier on when it was announced that the Xbox was going to be was going to be the exclusive console home of PUBG, because I know that it's a CPU intensive game, and the concerns going forward into that was that would the Xbox have enough horsepower to be able to give you a smooth experience. Now, from what I've seen and what we've heard from friends and other people in the community in gaming, people are having some issues when they're in the intro island where, when the servers are trying to line up 100 people to go in. The airplane, when it's going over the map at a high clip,
mm-hmm.
You're seeing some optimization concerns. And then we've seen it where, depending on where you are from a console perspective, are you going to have a smooth rate of play? Because I complained about it almost immediately when I landed on one of the spots where I landed on the ground and nothing came up, like nothing was on the roof of the building where there's always gear or loot to pick up. None of that had rendered into the game until a good 15, 20, almost 30 seconds later. Right? In a game like that, thankfully we landed with nobody else, right? But that's usually a high level loot area. So if I would have landed there with the intent to get high level loot and I'm on an OG Xbox, I'm not going to get that loot, and I could potentially be dead within 10 seconds of landing on the building because I'm still waiting for things to pop up. And I lose my place in line because now I've got to either land and run, and then I don't have the loot that I could have gotten, or I got to sit there and try to fight it and die, right? And that takes away from the game itself. So I'm hoping that the Xbox One S and or X is giving a better experience. I know you didn't have that problem.
No, mine was loading quickly, but like I said, a lot of people have the original Xbox. A lot. Xbox One. So, of course, they're going to have that issue, you know. But to me, I never played Battlegrounds ever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this was my first time. Yes, the game has frame rate issues. There's some bugs here and there. But overall, I had fun. And I think that's the most important thing. And we know this is an early access game, you know, so...
Yes, but that shouldn't give Bluehole / Xbox the free pass.
No.
They should be giving
at
a
all.
solid...
At all.
They should be giving a solid product to people who have paid. And yes, again, we understand that it's in preview, in progress, build. You're playing it. You're also paying a reduced cost. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, not everybody pays attention or sticks to the disclaimer that's up front.
I have a question, though, about that. You said for them not giving a free pass, but when you first got this game for the PC, you gave them a free pass, though, right? Or you were still
I wouldn't say it's a free pass. Remember, I've been playing this game now for 8 months, right?
Okay, yeah.
Even then, on my system at home at the time, which was an i5 with a 970 GPU, I wasn't getting the optimization concerns that I had on my Xbox One on the day that it launched.
But there was still issues with the game.
There were some issues, but
a lot of cheats.
Hold on. No, the cheats didn't come until later.
Okay.
So pause on that.
Okay.
My concern is that the game that I'm playing now on PC, yes, it's a complete overhaul of what we experienced on PC day one, but the stuff that I was playing early on, we're talking April of 2017.
A month after launch on
PC, still blows away what people, I think, are seeing or experiencing on Xbox One. Why? Because they have a technical... You've got a technical stopgap in the middle, which is preventing people from getting 60 frames per second, which would greatly improve their experience.
I think they could do that with the Xbox One X.
Right.
They're going to have issues doing that with the original OG Xbox One.
I don't know if they can. And again, this is all market speak where we're hearing, Brandon Green is saying, yeah, it can do 60.
Oh, he said that?
He says it can, but because of parity issues, and we've seen this across a multitude of games over the last couple of years, where people have had to, stop production or essentially handicap their game in order to stay within, that 30 frame lock, so that your PS4 Pros and your PS4s can play it, your Xbox One S and your Xbox One, and now obviously Xbox One X can play it. So when you have a game when you have a high technical requirement on a game like PUBG, and it's a CPU intensive game off the bat, and when you're sitting there and you've now got to somehow optimize your code so that it runs halfway decent on an Xbox One, you're gonna have some issues. You're gonna have some problems, and we're already seeing that now.
I think we were having this conversation, was it yesterday, I think. I was like, hey, you know what? They did a good job with the PC version. Through time, they were sending updates. I trust them because of that record of the team making the gaming experience better through time on the PC. Why they can't do that with Xbox? I feel like a lot of the PC owners of PUBG are comparing it too much. There are always probably bashing just because it's Xbox. This is more Bluehole than a console thing, in my opinion. I think they rushed this just to come out now in December, right before the end of 2017. But they did a great job. They did an amazing job with the PC version. It took them some time, and there's still bugs, of course. It's not 1.0 yet. But I could see them doing a better job and sending updates and everything for the console version. I think the game only been out a couple of days. Hasn't been a month at all. They could do that. They have time to fix this, man, and make it better. So Paris, I don't even want to say anything.
Well, kind of what you're saying about them rushing it. Yeah, in the sense that it's not optimized enough to be considered a polished product. But at the same time, that's also why it's in-game preview. So you got to look at it both ways. My thing is, and I don't have the answer to it, but I feel like Microsoft needed to market this, to set expectations better, I think, for people. Because there will be people that have, and we've seen it already on social media, that will go to the store, pay their $30, and they're expecting a polished, finished game that runs at a rock-solid 30 frames per second. Everything's ready to go. But it's in-game preview. You shouldn't be thinking that way. Now, PC users, for the 1.0 that comes out on the 20th, that's the final. Now that's the complete game. You have a final game, and you can set your expectations accordingly. But the PC community, compared to the console community, is different. PC community is used to these type of things, so they're not going to complain as much. But console users are, you give me a game, it's supposed to work.
They just started doing that a couple of years ago.
Not have 19 frames per second and things popping in and out and all that. They're not expecting that. But kind of like you've said, that doesn't take away the fun factor of the game. If you've never experienced PUBG, even if you're playing it at 12 frames per second, it's still fun as hell to you. You just need to understand that it will get better. And like I was saying, since this has all come out, there's no way in hell it's going to hit 60. I know that rumor came out a week or so ago, and they shot it down.
What was the rumor?
That they were going to target 60 frames per second for PUBG. The Xbox One is going to be the bottleneck on that. I'm pretty sure they can optimize it, and the X could hit 60 if they wanted to.
You think they could do it with the S?
I don't think so.
No? Okay.
That's what I'm saying. The Xbox One and the S, there's no way they're going to hit 60 frames per second consistently. So they're going to target 30. They'll hit 30. The X will do 30, and then that's it.
So let me ask you this. Do you think it matters for them to do 30 instead of 60? Because we play games, certain games that...
Console users are used to playing games at 30 frames per second, so I honestly don't think it's an issue on console.
Okay.
I really don't.
Okay.
Right. And even though the X, like I said, probably will have the capability of doing 60, they're going to want parity. So they're not going to do it. Same if it were to ever come to PlayStation, it's not going to do 60, it'll do 30 on the Pro and on the regular one.
Well,
and obviously, I have a biased opinion. I've played it for 8 months on PC, so I know the final product for the most part, right? Obviously, we've still got a couple of, we've still got a week or so for 1.0 to come out on PC. But having played the most recent iteration of 1.0 on the test servers, I know what the end result is. And let's not get it twisted. We still had fun, technical issues aside. You and I still had fun when we played.
It was a blast.
Talking to my friends who have only ever played the Xbox One, the console version, yeah, they accept the fact, and it's in big bold letters on the cover of the disc when they bought it.
And in the game, the beginning of the loading game.
And in game, when you fire up the game, it tells you this is in progress. You will encounter bugs and issues with the game. Do you accept these? And I mean, granted, you have to hit yes, or you just threw $30 out the window, right? But yeah, that's understandable. But throw all that aside. People are still having fun. You read the reviews, Verge and all the other ones. People that are playing the game blind for the first time because they don't have the same bias as someone who has put 500 plus hours into the game like myself, they're still having fun. Me knowing that there was going to be a markedly noticeable difference between playing it on my PC or playing it on Xbox, I still had fun with you guys. And that's more towards the game itself. That's more of of proof that this game can be successful regardless of the state in which it was delivered to gamers. I'm hoping that developers can pull enough optimization out of the code to make it better, right? All the work that they've done, it's not for naught, and I'm hopeful that they can, because I'd like to see it continue to be iterated upon and giving the experience that everybody has on it. I mean, just to show you, again, yes, I've got 500 hours into that on PC, but I'm still looking forward to jumping over on the console and playing with my friends. Yes, there's going to be a serious learn curve now, because now I've got to relearn patterns on how I do things. The menu itself, when you're doing inventory management, is completely different from what you're used to on PC. On PC, I can switch and flip and change things up on a fly, whereas now with a PC, I've got to hit a specific button. I've got.
Do you mean the Xbox controller?
On the Xbox version, I now have to think ahead. How am I going to be able to do this in a quick instance? For example, and I'm just going to use this as a blanket example. If I'm encountering somebody and let's say they've got the high road and I'm hiding behind a rock, right? And I've got a sniper rifle, but I've got a sniper rifle and an SMG, but I don't have the right scope on my sniper rifle. On PC, within a second or two, I can have that attachment where I want it on the sniper rifle and be able to engage my opponent. And a second or two makes all the difference in a game like that, where it's Twitch response, that guy can jump off the roof, run over and flank me before I'm able to successfully swap out a scope on the controller because of the way that you have to hit, I think it's the options button, tab over 2 or 3 times onto the gun, highlight it, go back to your attachment inventory. There's some work to be done.
Oh, of course. And there was one issue too that I even brought it up a couple of days ago. I had multiple items of the same thing, and I think I dropped it for one of our community members,
Right.
Arctic.
I grabbed it.
Yeah. Oh, you grabbed it. Somebody.
Yes.
So I had 8. So how can
they don't ever put 8x scopes in the game? It was an 8x scope. So that's probably why I think you have an 8 on there. You didn't have 8x scopes. No, those are very limited drops because of what it offers to a player.
So when I dropped it, was that one item?
It was just one. It was the only one on the floor.
It had the number 8, so I'm like, it's
so
8 times?
8x. It was 8x scope. It was, I can see 8 times further than the normal eye.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, I had to get used to the controller because reloading on like other games, I just had to press it once.
Yeah, with this one,
you have to hold X.
You have to hold it for a second. It's not hold it the entire time.
No, just to hold a little bit,
You have to hold it longer than what a natural, and that's because there's so many different movements and inventory management things that you need to do. So they've had to repurpose buttons to be able to give that to you. I'm curious if gamers can get like the Xbox Elite controller and be able to map different functions to those buttons. So now I don't have to sit there and press and hold. I can just tap, one of the back trigger buttons to initiate a reload or something like that, or initiate drop. Because, for example, if I want to drop a specific amount, I have to tap it, and then it brings up like a menu of how many number menu of how many items you want to drop. Or you have to hold the button, and it'll drop everything in a slot, right? So if I got, let's say you need ammo, and I've got 150, but I want to drop you 20, I have to tap it. Then I have to go move my controller stick to increase the button amount, and then press drop, and then get out of my menu twice to get back into the game.
Yeah. You do a driving too in the game.
Yes.
Your thoughts about the driving, was it different?
Honestly, the driving seemed a little bit easier because you're playing with a controller. Mouse and keyboard takes a little bit of time because you've got front, back, side to side, e-brake. A game like this doesn't typically give you a tutorial. You're dropped into Murder Island, essentially, with nothing but a hope and a dream. So I'm curious how long it's going to take for people to be able to take that information, be able to assimilate themselves into the game and become proficient. Obviously, there's a strong learning curve for a game like this. It's not something that people can just pick up and play.
It's going to take us some time.
It's going to take some time. And again, we're out in San Francisco, but I'm amped. I'm excited more so because now I get to see everyone experiencing what I've been experiencing for the past 8 months.
I mean, that's what you want. You want the brand to grow even more, and I think it will be great too, man, to get the word out.
That's one of the things that we were talking about this the other day, where it's like you see all of it's almost like seeing your little brother, getting something for the first time and seeing the joy that you maybe have gotten in the first place, right? You got to see that joy.
Agreed.
So I'm glad to see that Xbox owners are able to now join in the fun that PC players, have been doing for the last 8 months, and I'm hoping that development cycle because we know there's two different paths right now. There's the Xbox One development and there's PC development.
They're focusing more on the PC because that's been out the longest.
That's the primary one,
Yeah.
you know. And they've got, from what we understand now, it's the coalition is working on the port. I don't know if they're the ones working on the optimization or the development path.
No, I think that's the actual Bluehole team working on that. Yeah.
Okay, so it'll be interesting to see.
Coalition was just helping them so they could be on time to release this game for the Xbox One.
I honestly think they need to maybe put more effort towards that.
Oh, yeah, definitely, yeah. I think it's going to happen after the holidays, after 1.0 comes out.
Why should they wait?
It's holidays, man.
You want to put forth a proper product.
Start January, whatever. Start, man, you know?
You're so hopeful. God bless you.
It's going to take some time, dude. Like, I can see that. I can see them doing that, man. Like, work on 1.0. And then by early next year, release a couple updates, and then hopefully by
But you're
June,
putting a lot of pressure on the developers by
how's that pressure?
You're saying within a couple of months be able to get them to 1.0?
They did it with the PC version March, and now by December they're releasing 1.0. So why they can't do that with a console? Because
know.
it's a console. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
I have no idea, but you're.
It looks like you don't. It looks like you don't have faith on them when it comes to the console. But
from what I can see, I don't.
So
I don't because of what we've seen from a technical perspective. Dude, when you've got people playing on an Xbox One, the OG,
yeah,
getting 10, 12, 14 frames per second.
Dude, I know. I'm not saying this. It's not. But Pete, they released this product for the Xbox One. You think they're just gonna leave it like that and just work on the
PC? They were,
but they're gonna work on it. It's gonna take some time, but they're gonna work on it to finally release 1.0 for the console. If not, it will hurt their brand.
They've got a long way to go with regards to optimizing the game before they can even get to the 1.0 landscape, dude.
Paris, do you see what I'm trying to say though? Like, but you're giving the mic up.
Put it in the layman's
Please, like, I think he's not understanding what I'm saying.
What he's saying. So when did PUBG originally come out?
March.
Okay, so like you said, so from March to December, 9 months, they went from game preview to 1.0, right? 9-10 months, however you want to do the math. So what he's saying is you already know the optimization that you need to do for the console. You have a set standard, like all the hardware is going to be the same. So you know you're only optimizing to one spec, right? So what did you say? What do you think?
Well, I'm saying summer, maybe August.
If I had to, it's Leo. Phil Spencer walks on stage at E3 and they put
1.0
a date for 1.0. That's what I would say, and it would probably be in the summer.
Yeah,
to me that would seem realistic. If they need more time, as we say all the time, if you need more time, take the time you need. But I think it would be a fair assumption to around June, July. That gives them 7 months.
So you're saying June, July, giving them 6 to 7 months just to give a date for when they're going to deliver, which would potentially give them 2, 3, 4 months additional. So by that estimation, you're saying by holiday season next year is when they can do 1.0 on the console.
And if that's possible, cares as long as they release 1.0. The worst thing is buying a game during game preview and you don't see no updates. It's like of course. Oh, no, it's like I'm wasting my money.
I think you're thinking that they're going to I think the best way to put this is it seems like what you're getting out of what I'm saying is that they're just going to abandon it, and that's not what I'm trying to say.
Oh, okay,
at all.
Okay. It sounded like that.
No. I don't know
because
I don't know. I don't understand why you got. I don't know where you heard that, or maybe you just need some more turkey chili or something like that. I don't know.
Okay.
No, I don't think that they're going to abandon.
So we're on the same page. Because I'm going based on. You know why? I'm going based on having a great time. I've been playing for 8 months. Wow, 1.0 is coming out.
No, but see,
based on the feedback of the community, and I think the console gamers, the community, they're going to be the ones sending feedback. Hey, put this. These are the issues that I have.
Microsoft has put way too much towards Bluehole and helping them get this game out on Xbox for them to just drop everything and go. This isn't H1Z1. This isn't DayZ. 2 titles. Well, and more so DayZ because people are still waiting for the full release of that game 2+ years later.
That's crazy.
And Bluehole has done it in 40% of that time.
But that's not where their money's at.
Okay.
The money is in
Yeah.
Battlegrounds. So of course they're going to be.
I want to throw some controversy into this.
Not surprised.
And I know Pete's not going to like what I have to say.
Always opinionated.
Fortnite's going to beat out PUBG on the console. Reaction.
Seeing the release, seeing what we got, seriously puts concerns in my mind.
Wow.
Because
So he kind of agree.
I do.
Why?
I do.
But you at first you weren't. Why are you concerned now?
Because from a technical perspective, Fortnite is easier to develop against because it's not a realism type environment.
More cartoony.
It's more cartoony. So plus the map is a lot smaller. Right?
They've been adding new modes all the time. Man.
It's not an 8K. It's not an 8 kilometer by 8 kilometer map we're talking about, right? It's a much smaller map with Fortnite. That play area is a lot smaller. You're doing a lot less rendering, so you don't have to worry about environments that look realistic and grass and trees and bushes and all that. So yeah, seeing what we've seen out of Bluehole / Coalition on the console version, I would not be surprised if you see Fortnite pick up in popularity because gamers, it's $30 and it's in early access or game preview. They don't typically want to deal with all of those bugs. Yeah, it's fun now because it's newer for the console people, but there's a definite concern that gamers are going to go back to Fortnite because it's free,
and they've been adding new modes.
And they've been adding
PUBG
the 50 versus 50.
And isn't it on PS4?
Yeah, you've got a much larger install base.
Math just says more people will play Fortnite on console than they will PUBG because, again, PS4 outnumbers Xbox 2-1, and I don't think PUBG in its current state is not going to encourage someone to go out and buy an Xbox.
No.
It's not.
It's not at all. And that's the thing. And that's people are going to go towards what's easier to play, right? People don't want to jump into a 10 to 14 frames per second experience on their game console when they can jump over to PUBG and play something that's going to give them 30 to 45 to 60 frames per second, which is what Fortnite is giving them right now. You know, you've got different modes. You can play with groups. You can do the 50 on 50, which is, again, limited time only. So you can play that for a short period of time, but then that's going to disappear, right? Which gives Fortnite more time to go back and develop more things, develop more game modes. So it's going to be interesting to see how Bluehole reacts in general.
With that?
Yeah, with that. I'm curious if we're going to see Bluehole push back and say, we need more resources, Microsoft. Yeah. Can you help us?
Yeah.
This might even provoke them to say, you know what, Microsoft, yeah, you may have helped from a marketing standpoint and getting our name out more, but we're taking an L because Fortnite is taking a player base away from us because they're able to iterate quicker. Maybe they need to go to Sony.
That's true.
Maybe they need to be able to start iterating or growing to the point where they need to start now iterating on multiple platforms. Go to Xbox, go to PlayStation, get that game into the hands. Who knows? I think I may have pissed somebody off in the kitchen now, that comment.
Yeah.
I think the state of the game itself needs to be in a place where, regardless of whether you're playing it on a console or on a PC, it shouldn't make a difference. And I don't know if PUBG is that game. You know what I mean? I don't know if Battle Royale or PUBG is ready to be a multi-platform experience.
Especially now that it's not ready for consoles.
Yeah, I'd like to see other titles. I'd like to see other franchises maybe go in that direction.
Yeah.
But who knows?
Okay, so we're going to wrap this up because I'm going to play an audio that you guys recorded during I think it was on Twitch like a week ago or so.
Yeah, we're gonna change gears. We're gonna tap the brakes and change gears.
Change gears. So I know you guys had a conversation about it was movies. I think it was comics and stuff. Can you give us a little introduction before I play the audio?
Yeah, it was the after show from Sunday morning. We talked about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We talked about what we would like to see with this potential Marvel Fox deal if it does come through. What else
We
did
talked
talk
about your delusion of trying to hold Marvel to comic book canon for everything. They can't diverge nothing. If it wasn't on the printed page, it can't be in the movie. That's your philosophy.
Well, why can't it? I just love saying stuff like that and seeing him get flustered and pissed off. It's great. I wish this was on the Twitch show right now.
It's called You Already Know That Story. So you take inspiration from the comic book and you do something different. It's that simple. You're like, no.
Star Wars is canon.
Thanos did this, so he has to do that in the movie or it's ruined.
It is.
No. Anyways, listen to the audio to see what we're talking about.
Yeah, it was a great episode.
Let's check it out.
Back on the scene.
This is Gamer Tag Radio. Voicemail at 786-2737-GTR.
The holidays is a great time to get together with friends, family, and loved ones. With the holidays and New Year's Eve right around the corner, we're asking that everyone please understand the risks of driving drunk. You can get arrested, possibly lose your job, and even worse, the immense danger you pose to yourself and those around you simply isn't worth it. We encourage everyone to plan ahead and have a designated driver. But we also understand that that's not always the case. So our friends at NHTSA developed an app. It's super easy to use. It provides users with the easiest way to get home, even if you're drunk. Honestly, it's like 3 button presses and you're done. It's that simple. So check out the Safer Ride app to call a friend or locate and call a cab. Help NHTSA end drunk driving by doing your part to get home safely. For more information, head on over to the iTunes Marketplace or Google Play and look for the Safer Ride app. Drive sober or get pulled over.
There are so many reasons why I got into teaching.
One of the best things is the light bulb moment.
When you see a pupil suddenly understand something, that's really, really special.
Every child is so full of potential, and the thing that makes me proudest to be a teacher is seeing them realise what they are capable of.
I don't think any other job can give you the same satisfaction.
That's why I chose to teach.
You could get £26,000 tax-free to train. Search, apply to teach. Selected subjects only, subject to eligibility.
At LV, our home insurance comes from the heart. It's not just about giving you a personal claims handler to take care of you all the way. It's about looking after you in other ways too. Like when you go direct to us, buy online and get a massive 25% discount. To see how much you could save with the Which Insurance Provider of the Year 2017, go direct to lv.com. Online discount for new customers only, excludes home emergency and home legal expenses.
For the first time in 13 years, local hosts of Gamertag Radio are going to have the first live recording in front of an audience during PodFest 2018. This live recording event is free to attend February 9th, 2018 from 6 to 7 p.m. It's going to take place at PodFest Multimedia Expo 2018 in Orlando, Florida. See Paris, Pete, and Danny live at PodFest 2018. For more information, head over to gamertagradio.com or podfest.us.
I guess that is a good segue into the new Spider-Verse trailer. I loved it. The art direction, the style, seeing Miles Morales finally. I know this is the one that this is, where we're going to see Miles Morales. I'm curious. Are we going to see all of the other Spider-Verse characters?
I think we are. I think so. I think that was kind of the point of when you see that Peter talking to Miles and saying, I forget the exact words, but like basically they aren't the only ones with masks or whatever he said exactly. I think it's because we're going to see the other multiverse Spider-Men, or Spider-Women in this movie, which is good. And correct me if I'm wrong, but this kind of sort of does live in the current MCU as well. It is based off the canon of what they're building with Spider-Man Homecoming on some level. Like basically that Peter Parker that we see as an adult is Tom Holland in a way. Mm-hmm. I think. I think I'm right on that. But I do know Miles Morales does in the MCU. Miles Morales is in that universe because Donald Glover's character is his uncle.
Right.
And I guess there was the deleted scene where he actually mentioned Miles Morales by name, in Spider-Man Homecoming. So, and I know Feige has said they will eventually get to Miles Morales at some point in the MCU. It's just obviously Tom Holland being in high school, it'll be way down the road because Miles Morales in the MCU is still like a little kid, like a baby almost, I guess.
Right. Yeah. I was going to mention the whole Donald Glover mentioning, yeah, that's my nephew or that's my cousin or whatever. So I'm excited. And then this is going to probably lead to the whole Fox merger thing. I've been anticipating having this talk.
We should talk about that.
It hasn't been officially announced. There is speculation now that they're going to make the announcement this coming week. Because trust me, this is something that I've been heavily following. As you can see back here, I kind of have an issue with comic books. So I've been closely watching this simply because aside from the Infinity Gauntlet storyline, my second favorite story arc is the Fantastic Four and Jonathan Hickman's run. If this merger happens, which is what it's being reported is going to happen, this opens up the opportunity for us to have the Fantastic Four, Doctor Doom, come into the MCU. I wonder how much this is going to reorganize that planned list of movies if this comes to fruition. So a quick synopsis of the Jonathan Hickman run on the new Fantastic Four. Reed Richards, obviously I think they would be the space-faring exploration group aside from the Guardians of the Galaxy. Reed Richards creates a portal gun and goes into the multiverse and locates all the other Fantastic Four Reed Richards. And they have a thing called the Council of Reeds, where it's all Reed Richards from different universes and multiverses. And they all talk about how they can, do things. And obviously it's his son, Nathan Richards, is born, Nathaniel Richards, however you want to call it. And he is the most powerful person in the entire multiverse of Marvel. And at one point calls forth Galactus as his herald. Okay, the same way that Silver Surfer was, or Fire Lord, were Galactus's his herald. Nathan Richards, Nathaniel Richards, has Galactus, and he calls him forth, brings him from the grave. Man, I just want to see that big, galaxy tall Galactus. I don't want to see that cheesy, crabby ass cloud floating through. No, I want the Eater of Worlds. I want the Devourer of Worlds. I want Galactus. I want the big purple dude with the big, massive, corny looking helmet. That's what I want. That they bring that. That is the next uber villain, if not Doctor Doom for the MCU. The same way that they've been able to do this massive lead up for Thanos and the Infinity Gauntlet. That could be your next massive lead up into a major villain, whether it be Galactus or do both. Have Galactus as the threat while you have Doctor Doom as your threat. Because at one point during that Hickman run, Doctor Doom becomes technically a god. Okay? Man, I got goosebumps going on right now talking about this.
This is why I'd been saying it on Twitter. Like, even stuff comes out, it would not shock me if, and at this point now, Disney's going to get Fox, so it's moot. But it wouldn't have shocked me even before this if Marvel and Fox had worked out a sharing agreement so that they could have gotten the Fantastic Four, Doctor Doom, and Galactus, Silver Surfer back into the MCU. Because I maintain, and I will not back off of this until I'm proven wrong in 2019, that the after credits for Avengers 4, you're literally going to see Victor Von Doom in I never say the country right, but in his castle, Latvia, thank you, assessing everything that just happened with Thanos and the universe, and basically some cheesy, and it won't be maybe not a cheesy line, but like, now it's his time, and he comes forth. And then obviously with James Gunn taking a bigger role now within Marvel and being the overlord or the cosmic, dude, they get Galactus. You know he's integrating that. You know he's integrating the Silver Surfer, because there's already rumors that when you look at that Infinity War trailer and you see Hulk crash into the Sanctorum, with Doctor Strange, that is from the comic when the Silver Surfer did the same thing,
right,
to warn everyone about Thanos. Now they actually get the Silver Surfer to be able to use him in that kind of vein. Oh, the sky's the freaking limit. And one other thing, another side to this, that we're all focusing on the Fox characters. I'm telling you, the fact that Tony Stark sold off Avengers Tower and left
West Coast Avengers,
Oscorp.
Oh, that's right.
Right on in Norman Osborn, and when I say Norman and Green Goblin, they could use Norman Osborn in such a creative way in the MCU, and it has nothing to do with Green Goblin until way down the road. I mean, we're talking Phase 5. They could bring in Green Goblin.
Because at one point he becomes the leader of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah. He was the Iron Patriot at one point, too. I mean, there's so many things they could do. But this is the point of when you have, we all trust Kevin Feige with this whole Marvel universe, right? I mean, look, it's not going to be perfect, but for the most part, they've taken things in the right direction. So if they get the X-Men back in, they get Fantastic Four in, they get all the I just focus on them from a villain standpoint: Galactus, Doctor Doom, Norman Osborn, Magneto, the Brotherhood of Mutants. There's just so many avenues that they'll be able to go down. Can you imagine an MCU Emma Frost? Oh my God, it just gets me excited to think about. We all talk about these female heroes. Give me Emma Frost as that female villain, man, who just will not freaking go away, who just manipulates everyone that she encountered. Oh, dude, so good.
I mean,
so freaking good.
We saw a hint of it at the end of not Logan, the Wolverine movie before, or was it it was the end of Apocalypse Returns. When you see the break-in into the Weapon X factory and you see Essex Labs or Essex Corporation, you see that on the suitcase when he opens it up and it's the DNA for Logan. That's Nathaniel Essex. That's Mr. Sinister. And that's another X-Men.
Oh my God, Mr. Sinister.
One of my favorite enemies in the X-Men universe. There's so much story. Give me Omega Red, give me,
On that though, I didn't mean to cut you off. On that though, I look at a Mr. Because here's the other part of this that they're going to have to figure out. Deadpool. The Deadpool / X-Force / quote unquote Logan universe, that needs to stay rated R, right? So when we talk an Omega Red, when we talk of Mr. Sinister, I want them, even Cable, I want them to live there. I don't want them to live in the MCU. Maybe you can bring in a Logan or something to be in quote unquote the PG-13 Logan to be like an Avengers movie or something like that. And obviously have some cross sharing with Xavier showing up and all that. But for the main stuff, for them to really shine as villains and heroes the way that they should, it's got to be rated R. Like what we saw with Logan, that's how I want to see Wolverine moving forward. They probably won't do it because he's such a commercially successful character, even in the PG-13 world. But Deadpool, oh my God, there's no way you can neuter Deadpool. They have to keep, from when I heard the rumor is they would keep 21st Century Fox as a film studio. Just let him stay there. He doesn't have to come to Disney. He doesn't have to come to Marvel Films. He can stay there, do his rated R stuff, have Cable, Domino, everything that goes with that Deadpool verse. If you need now, the fact that you own everything, there's a critical character you need to pull him in. And then
there's no heavy negotiation necessary to bring him in for just a quick cameo or whatever. You don't have to worry about it. Yeah, there's so many things. I can't wait. Yeah. There's so much good stuff on the horizon.
I really wish I was a kid now, because it's like we read these things as kids in comic books and all these stories, and now they're actually, with the way technology is, and now that the writes all this stuff, they can actually bring these things to screen. Like I said when I did the show last week, that Infinity War trailer brought so much joy to me, just the trailer, because it was like, oh my God. The stories that I've been reading for the past 25 years, are actually about to happen. We're about to literally see the on-screen incarnation of this stuff. And the fact that they built the MCU over the past 10 years, I care about all those characters. When all those characters showed up on screen, I cared about all of them in one way or another. Like Thanos, I cared about Thanos because finally the son of a bitch is getting out of the chair and he's doing something. Yes. Yes. And I understood the stakes. I understood that everyone should be afraid of this dude because it isn't even just the physical of Thanos. It's up here, man. It's his intellect is, he's one of the top intellects, in this verse as well. He's no dummy. He doesn't just use raw power. Like I guarantee you won't see him use force to take the Infinity Stones in every situation. There's going to be manipulation for him to get them as well. And that's the beauty of Thanos. But once he does get all 6, watch out, because now, and they have to do it. They have to do it. He can literally snap his finger and kill the universe if he wants.
Well, he does.
I know. Of course, that's what I'm saying. But they have to show that in one of these movies where he literally snaps his finger and takes out half the verse. How they're going to interpret that and show it, we'll see. Because obviously, there won't be blood and guts and all that stuff. But
they just blank out of existence. They just disappear out of existence. So, I still remember reading that panel where he's at the end and he's just standing as always with his hands behind it. And he just goes like this. And then you see the next panel, I think is Captain America's face. And he's just like, oh my God, it's just, that was just such a groundbreaking moment for me in comic books where it was just like, wow, like literally half the universe, not half the world, half the universe gone. And not just them, like his battles with eternity, his battle with Lord Chaos and Master Order. Those fights with the Eternals themselves is so insane. And he's just like, he goes to fight, another great thing is I would love to see with Fantastic Four now being included in this, if and when this happens, is that part where Ben Grimm goes to punch him and he just like turns him into butterflies and he gone.
Well, that we won't see that because even this deal goes down. What the Infinity War movies are going to be is already in stone. They're not going to retro, any of these other characters in, which kind of actually brings up another point. Someone said in the chat about, do they have to tell the Fantastic Four origin story again? Yes and no. I think what they do is kind of the smart way of like they did with Civil War and how they introduced Spider-Man and introduced Black Panther. They're just there. And they kind of in dialogue kind of give you their backstory. Now, look, Black Panther is obviously getting his quote unquote solo movie, but it's not an origin story. He is already Black Panther in this movie. And you're telling the story of how he now becomes the king of Wakanda, the definitive king of Wakanda. But as far as Wakanda and the technology behind it and the Black Panther suit and all that stuff already exists. The lore of Black Panther already exists. So we don't have to tell that again. Spider-Man, he was already Spider-Man in Civil War. He had been Spider-Man for 6 months. We didn't have to get into the great power, responsibility, Uncle Ben and all that stuff. We know we're smart enough to know. So I'm assuming they're going to know we're smart enough to know you don't have to tell how the Fantastic Four got their powers. You don't have to show it. You can just tell us in dialogue and casual conversation and keep the movie going, which is obviously what I hope they do.
I'm curious how and what version of Black Panther we're going to see. Are we going to see the Ta-Nehisi Coates version where he's now so busy doing everything else, saving the world and working with the Avengers, that he's allowed ruin and other things? He's stopped technically ruling Wakanda and Shuri is taking over because he's so busy doing other things. And that's what allows Killmonger to come in and start, putting his influence on Wakanda. Are we going to see the Illuminati, which is Captain America and Doctor Strange and Namor and Black Panther, that work behind the scenes and offer guidance and help towards the protection of the Earth, the group that doesn't exist? I'm curious to see, are we going to see the Black Panther that shuts off via technology the way vibranium works, which essentially puts Wakanda into ruin. I mean, there's so many stories, and I'm curious to see how they're going to use this on this movie.
I don't think just from the way that they've introduced Black Panther, I don't think that's how they're going to play it, because it looks like his father has died, and then they're picking up where he's not just given the crown. He literally has to earn the crown. If going by what I've seen so far in the trailers makes sense. But he's king because Killmonger, because it looks like Killmonger and Man-Ape make a play for the throne. That's how from what little I've seen. So I don't think he's shirked his duties as king. He has to earn the right to be the king of Wakanda. That's how I'm seeing it, and I could be.
I guess I'm reading too, and because I know the history and I know the other stories. I guess maybe I'm just trying to see how this is going to fit. Which version of Black Panther are we going to see? Are we going to see the king of Wakanda, or are we going to see the Black Panther after? He's already king because by lineage he is king. Just because he's king doesn't mean he's Black Panther, though. And
I actually think I agree. I agree with what you're saying. But what we see for is his father's assassinated, and he was already Black Panther. His father was king of Wakanda, but he was already Black Panther. So I don't think that he's earning the right to be Black Panther. I think it's the opposite. He's earning the right to be the king of Wakanda. I think the other factions are coming in and they're making their stake for the throne. And like I said, Killmonger, his family was exiled, is coming back, and obviously looks like Claw is involved in that somehow as well. He's coming back to then now stake his claim, and by however reason, whatever happens, he gets his own Black Panther suit. I think you went a little too far for what the MCU is. I don't think, because we haven't even seen Namor yet, which again, he's rumored to eventually show up as well. But I don't think they're going to go with that version of Cap and Doctor Strange and Illuminati and all that stuff. I don't think they're doing that just yet. I mean, we'll see after the aftermath of Infinity War, because you got to also think when we look at Infinity War, they've given us this background on all these characters, and some of them haven't even met yet. Like Cap hasn't even met Doctor Strange yet. Like I said, if a Namor is introduced, he's met no one as of yet. We haven't even seen Doctor Strange and Tony Stark meet yet. I mean, things like that. There's all these characters that still need to meet and interact before they start assembling councils and deciding to, overlord the earth and all this other stuff. So that'll be a curious thing to see, which, by the way, brings me another wacky theory of the week. Banner and Hulk. And okay, I won't spoil Thor Ragnarok yet, but Banner and Hulk, I'll just say this. I see it going one of three ways in Infinity War, because it's been pretty much agreed that Banner is in that Hulkbuster, right? So why? Is it? Yeah, from everything I'm seeing, a lot of people seem to think that Banner is actually the one in the Hulkbuster. Because think about this. Tony Stark is not in Wakanda when that is going down. It looks like he's with the Guardians off fighting Thanos somewhere else. So that whole fight in Wakanda, Stark isn't a part of that. So why is a Hulkbuster there? And we've clearly seen Banner standing in front of that Hulkbuster arm in the trailer. So a lot of people think it's actually Banner in there. So just go down the rabbit hole with me that it is Banner in there, right? Why? Why isn't he just Hulk? And we do see Hulk in the trailer, right? So one of three things. Either Thanos has used one of the reality, I'm just assuming it's the reality stone. He's used one of the Infinity Stones to separate Hulk and Banner, so they're completely two different people now. So he's in the Hulkbuster actually so he can help, or he's made it so that Banner can no longer change into the Hulk, and that's why he's in there. He literally, even if he wanted to, couldn't change. Or third one, he simply is too afraid to change back into Hulk because he thinks if he does, he'll never become Banner again. Your thoughts?
I don't think number 3 is valid, and I could be wrong. I mean, we don't know. We won't know until the movie comes out. I don't.
Well, can I spoil Thor? Can we get a spoiler for Thor?
No, because God forbid I say spoilers.
Well, I'm warning people right now. 10 seconds. I'm spoiling something from Thor Ragnarok in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, spoiler. Banner says in Ragnarok that he's afraid he may never change back again if he turns into Hulk, because Hulk took control. It was different this time.
And
Hulk
he was
had control
willing
for
to
2
do
years.
so.
No, he wasn't.
When he jumps out of the plane in Ragnarok.
Well, because he's being a hero at that point. That's what I'm saying. That was a hero moment.
And that was a choice he made to become the Hulk again, regardless of.
But that's what I'm saying, Pete. That again, listen to me for continuous spoilers here. All right, that's what I'm saying. He made the choice, and then obviously he ends Ragnarok as Hulk. Still, it is very apparent in that Infinity War trailer. Whatever happens when he comes crashing into Doctor Strange's house, he was Hulk crashing through there, and then changed back to Banner. Maybe he realized, oh my God, I'm finally Banner. I'm myself again. I don't know what's going to happen if I change again. I want to help save the universe. I'm going to build my own Veronica, and I'm going to help instead of changing back into Hulk. That's what I'm saying. So maybe he is making that he's too afraid to turn back into Hulk again because he's worried he may never become Bruce Banner.
I think it's Rhodey.
You see, it's not Rhodey. You said Rhodey.
Why not? James Rhodes.
No.
Why not?
No, I disagree. No. There's zero precedent that Rhodey has put on the Hulkbuster. No. He'd have a War Machine Hulkbuster. He'd be badass with all these guns on it. No, I don't think so.
No, I think that scene where you see them running out of Wakanda, that's when the Black Order arrives to take over. One of the theories that I've been following is that, and this is, prepare yourselves, we're going back down. Actually, he broke his back. But we're going down the rabbit hole again now. So, strap in. Black Panther uses the final remaining stone because the Black Panther itself is able to commune with the nether region, the netherworld or something like that. So here's my theory. Okay, this is from the books. So this is legit story arcs here, okay? He uses the gem to commune with the netherworld. That's what he uses to talk to all the previous Black Panthers in the lineage. So that is where the final stone is. And that's when Thanos sends the Black Order to Wakanda, lays waste to Wakanda, which is in the storyline, which is in canon. And they pull the stone away from him. So he's no longer, I think the god is Bass that allows him to become Black Panther. He still becomes Black Panther, but no longer is able to commune and talk to the previous Black Panthers in the lineage. And that's when Thanos gets the final stone to create the gauntlet. So that's my theory. That's what I think is going to happen.
Okay. I'm going to be pissed off to the highest of pistivity if the Soul Stone is in Wakanda, and I'm going to give you my reason why. You're now saying time, mind, and soul were all on Earth at the same time. Of all the places in the flipping galaxy and all the multiverses, realms, whatever you call it, you had 3 stones all on Earth at one time. I think that is such a freaking cop-out and such lazy creativity in writing if they do that in this movie. Because
the power boxes were on Earth too.
Do we really want to go there?
I have to go there.
Oh my God. We already know that the Power Stone is with Nova Corp on what's the name of that planet? Whatever, doesn't matter. But it's with Nova Corp. The Reality Stone is somewhere with the Collector, and or he sold it to someone else out in the universe, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Loki has the Tesseract. Again, we know Vision has the Mind Stone. We know that Doctor Strange has the Time Stone. Fine,
the
fine
Collector
with
has
that.
2. The Collector has the power, which is the power.
No, he does
stone.
not.
Oh no, wait, sorry. That's the Nova Corps. The Nova Corps.
I literally just said it was Nova Corps.
The Nova Corps. The Nova Corps. Vision has
on Xandar. He has it's on Xandar with Nova Corps. That's what the power.
Why are we?
Anyways,
Where's the 5th?
Going back to my. I just said. I just literally listed them all. Okay, let's break it down. I'm gonna break it down again. Tesseract is with Loki.
Yes.
Power Stone is on Xandar with Nova.
Yes.
The Reality Stone is with the Collector. The Ether is with the Collector. The Time Stone is with Doctor Strange. And the Mind
Stone.
The
Eye of Agamotto. That was the one that was missing. The green one. Okay.
Yes. And the Time Stone is with Vision. Yes. So if the Soul Stone is one Wakanda, it just seems like such a cop-out. And I get what you're saying. What you're saying would make sense that the Soul Stone is powering all that so he can commune with the previous Black Panthers, all that. I get all that. I just don't want it to be. I really don't want it to be. I don't want that to be. I want Wakanda to be the place that it is because that's freaking Wakanda and not because of a gosh darn Infinity Stone. That's what I want it to be.
Well, so this is going to have to bring us into that argument that you and I, argument/discussion that you and I had with regards to Adam Warlock, since Adam Warlock is not supposed to be in.
And he's not. James Gunn said he's not.
Because that's where he resides. That's where Adam Warlock resides, is within the stone.
Aisha's making him, though. We're talking, forget
chicken
comics.
Or the
we're
egg.
talking MC. But we're talking MCU now. you love to take the comics and act as if they're canon in the MCU. They're not.
They're supposed to be.
But they're not. Okay, Hela in Thor Ragnarok was literally 3 different characters merged into one. So it's not canon.
Hela's supposed to be Loki's daughter.
And she's not. She wound up being Odin's daughter. But they took inspiration from 3 different characters to make Hela in Thor Ragnarok as an example. So you can't say it's going to be direct canon for Adam Warlock that he's in the Soul Stone, because we clearly see that Aisha is creating him at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. And James Gunn has already gone on record, and I sent you the freaking link where he said it, that he is not in Infinity War or Avengers 4, and he might not even be in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 unless the story makes sense for it. He said it. So they're not doing Adam Warlock to be the magical MacGuffin to come in and save everyone, from Thanos. They're not going to do that. They're going to do something else. I don't even think it's going to be Captain Marvel. I think Captain Marvel comes in as the most powerful hero in the MCU, and she can go toe to toe with Thanos. But ultimately, and again, I know I'm tangenting away from it, but ultimately, I think Captain America / Tony Stark make the ultimate sacrifice to save everyone. I think that's what happens to kind of close out this 10-year story, because it all started with them. The fact that they splintered in Civil War is going to be very key to what happens in Infinity War, because they aren't together as one. They are splintered. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's going to be in Avengers 4 when Cap and Tony put their differences aside and come together as one, is when the Avengers are going to be able to overcome Thanos. That's just my 2 cents. We have this discussion with Phoenix every day. I talk to him. We argue every day. That's why I was like ready. I'm like, no.
Good conversation though. Love talking comic books.
No, again, this is why I wish I was a kid now, man. It's such a great time to be a comic book fan, to just be a geek with all this great stuff that they're able to do now, on screen with comic books, bringing all this stuff to life. And then, obviously this is a gaming podcast. Even just in gaming right now, it's such an amazing time with all the take all the loot box bullshit out of it. It's an amazing time, even as a gamer, just with where games are starting to go and just some of the amazing things that you can do and play. And you have such variety now in what you can play. You may love PUBG, I might love Destiny, but dude, there's so many other amazing games out there.
There are so many reasons why I got into teaching.
One of the best things is the light bulb moment.
When you see a pupil suddenly understand something, that's really, really special.
Every child is so full of potential, and the thing that makes me proudest to be a teacher is seeing them realise what they are capable of.
I don't think any other job can give you the same satisfaction.
That's why I chose to teach.
You could get £26,000 tax-free to train. Search, apply to teach. Selected subjects only, subject to eligibility.
At LV, our home insurance comes from the heart. It's not just about giving you a personal claims handler to take care of you all the way. It's about looking after you in other ways too. Like when you go direct to us, buy online and get a massive 25% discount. To see how much you could save with the Which Insurance Provider of the Year 2017, go direct to lv.com. Online discount for new customers only, excludes home emergency and home legal expenses.
You're listening to Gamertag Radio.
What's going on, everybody? Here to do a review on the Roccat Cone AMO gaming mouse. I know we talked about this mouse a couple of weeks ago on the show, and I want to do a formal review for everyone, so here we go. So the Roccat Cone originally was released back in 2007, and back then they were ahead of the curve when they released the original Cone, simply because it was the first mouse to feature RGB lighting in the device itself. That being said, it's been 10 years, and they've packed on a bunch of features that they've gathered and researched and worked on over the last 10 years to come up with the with what we have here. So it comes out in 3 different colors. We've got white, we've got black, and like a gunmetal gray, which is the one that I got. Pretty cool. It's got some silver banding. It's got, the logo on the back half. Really fresh, clean looking mouse. I really dig it. So, AMO, as I mentioned earlier, it's AIMO. That's that's what they call their patent pending intelligent lighting system. Actually uses a program called Swarm for profile management, macros, and lighting customization. It's similar to like what you would see from Razer with their Synapse, Corsair's Q, and other utility application used for that. I'll cover Swarm in detail later on in the review. Keynote, if you happen to have an Alienware PC, it does support Alien FX. So if that's something that, if you're using an Alienware PC, might be a plus for you. So like I said, after 10 years of being in the business of like doing gaming accessories, they've been able to get tons of feedback from gamers around the world. And they use that knowledge towards the construction of this new mouse. It doesn't feel cheap. It's got some decent heft to it. It fits in hand. It comes with a nice braided cable. I think I want to say it's like 3.5, maybe 4 feet long. Rock solid construction. It feels good. I've got about a medium-sized hand, so this will be good for those that are medium to large-sized hands. It fits pretty much almost my entire hand. If you've got a smaller hand, it may not be to your liking or to your suiting. And while it's got some size packed on, some kind of similar like a post-Thanksgiving meal, means it's going to have some heft to it. I do like a little bit of weight on my gaming mouse, so your mileage may vary. But it does come in, I want to say like 130 grams or something like that. So, it's a little bit heavier than most normal gaming mouse or gaming mice. But like I said, I like it because I like a little bit of heft on mine. So get to a little more of the technical parts here. The mouse uses a modified PixArt owl eye optical sensor, and it's customizable within the actual Swarm software. You can adjust DPI in increments of, I think it's like 100. And you can go from 100 all the way to like 12,000, depending on what your preference is. The actual sensor itself is called a PixArt 3361, and it has a 1-to-1 lens. It features a 70 megahertz system clock. And like I mentioned earlier, the max DPI resolution of this thing is like 12,000 DPI. It's crazy. Honestly, if you ask me, I don't know why anybody would ever need 12,000 DPI, but it's got it. Also, so Roccat does this testing, which pretty much ensures that you're going to get 50 million clicks out of this thing before it starts to get into the failure area. And it also has Omron switches on the inside, so that's pretty cool. The clicks are rather substantial. Like when you click it, like you'll hear it. Like, I don't know if you could hear that, but yeah, you can tell when you're clicking, and like you won't be doing a lot of accidental clicks with these. So the Cone, I'm still trying to figure out how they pronounce it, has a 3-button mouse area on the left-hand side of it. They call this the tri-button thumb zone. And what they can do with this part of this application in Swarm is it's called Easy Shift Plus. You can actually program a secondary function. I actually use the T3 button, which is what they use for Easy Shift. in conjunction with, I think it's T1 when I'm playing, like, say, PUBG, and it actually uses that to pull up the map, so I don't have to use an extra button on my keyboard to press the map and move my hands or whatever. The scroll wheel is pretty dope. It's got this little rubber coating on there, and it has a 4-dimensional directional movement on there. Again, all scroll settings are customizable within Swarm, so that's pretty dope. So yeah, I've talked about Swarm here. That's their application. Want to give you a quick walkthrough of their software itself. It looks kind of daunting and almost convoluted at first glance, but it's because they give you so many options. Like the first tab, it's kind of like your favorites you can go through, and that's what you're commonly going to be configuring and stuff like that. But there's so much more. You can configure horizontal and vertical tilt of the scroll wheel itself. I mean, again, it's 4-dimensional. As mentioned earlier, DPI switcher lets you go from 100 all the way to 12,000. Again, I don't know why anyone would ever use or need 12,000, but it's there. You have 12 programmable buttons all together on the mouse. And with Easy Shift Plus, you can actually provide an alternate function, like I said. So now you've got 24 programmable buttons all along this mouse. You've got customizable polling rate going from 125, doubling up all the way up to 1,000. So you've got 125, 250, 500, 1,000. Me personally, I just leave it at 500 and it works just fine. The higher the number, the quicker it pulls. Distance control unit actually measures how high you can lift the mouse before it actually stops transmitting the signal from the mouse to your mouse pad. You can calibrate this also to your preference. So if you want to go customizable and say you want to go, pretty high because, that's how you gaming, that's how you game with your mouse, or if you want to do it low so that it shifts over, you can do that. I actually set it to very low. And now for the most important part, lighting. All right, so you got 5 options here. You have color wave, snake, fully lit, heartbeat, and breathing. So I'll give a quick run through of each of those. Obviously, color wave, it cycles through all the various colors. You can actually customize which colors it actually cycles through. Snake, it goes pretty much in a line through the mouse. Fully lit just stays fully lit. That's what I set on mine because I don't like all of the wavy stuff. Heartbeat 2.0 actually changes the color from side to side. So it'll go from the left, then it goes to the right, then it goes to the left, then it goes to the right. And then you got the last one, which is called breathing, and actually fades in and out of the color that you checked. So again, totally customizable. You can go through there. You can select from the preset color palette that it provides to you, or you can go and mix and match, create your own custom color that you like. I actually had to go, and it took me about a good minute and a half to try to match it because I don't have a Kony or a Rocat keyboard, so I had to match it up with what I'm currently using on my keyboard. Again, didn't take long. Totally customizable. I was able to pretty much match it, pretty well. So they also provided me with a Kanga gaming mousepad. So I used it for a little bit. I didn't really see a significant difference or performance increase or whatever when using it along with my standard, my daily driver, which is a Decanic XL mousepad. Again, not meant as a slight to the product. I just didn't see a discernible difference that would make that would make me run out and get it. Just trying to be 100% transparent and honest on this. So in summary, I have to say I'm pretty pleasantly surprised with this mouse. I really didn't think that it would supplant my daily driver, which is a Razer. And I use it for everything, whether it's gaming, video editing, or just general overall use. And it's pretty much replaced my daily use. So now I am using the Rocat for pretty much everything. Price point's pretty good. You could buy the mouse either on Amazon, or you can go direct to the Rocat website at roccat.org. And I just want to say thanks to Rocat for giving us the opportunity to review their product. Would I recommend this? I have to say yes. Go buy it. I dig it a lot. Again, your mileage may vary. This is just a personal opinion. If you like it, go ahead and pick it up. If you have more information or you got any questions, hit us up. Let us know how you feel. If you've actually used it before and you want to talk about it, hit us up.
Back on the scene. This is Gamertag Radio.
Hello, everyone. GTR listeners from around the world. This is Danny, and very quick, I'm going to review this game that came out a couple maybe like 2 weeks ago or so, for the Nintendo Switch. It's called Floor Kids, and if you heard our interview with one of the developers of the game, it's a unique breakdancing game featuring dance battles, freestyle gameplay, and so on. And yes, and it got some exclusive hip hop beats. You only will find it there in the game, produced by Kid Koala. If you don't know much about Kid Koala, make sure to do a little research and stuff. But he's been involved also with the hip hop industry and stuff, man. So yeah, this game you could play single player or also a multiplayer. And yeah, it has like a little short story. The game is very, very short. I got to beat it the same day. But the thing that makes this very, very unique is the breakdancing battle and stuff. There's been games that came out in the past that had like a little breakdancing thing there, but it wasn't a lot of fun. This one I find it fun, especially if you try to play like multiplayer, 2 players, 1 versus 1, and while you're breakdancing, the person you're competing, they could send like fire and stuff like that. They could try to mess you up while you're dancing and stuff. So, but I unlock every character. In order for you to play the last level, you have to unlock every character in the game and stuff. So, but it's a lot of fun. I like them. Plus, it's cheap. It's only like $19, $19.90 actually. And you could download it right now for the Nintendo Switch digitally and stuff. But lot of fun. And the controls are a lot easier too. It's not difficult. At first you don't know what you're doing. You're just like completely lost. But once you start getting used to the controls, you already know what to do and stuff, and you will unlock different moves from every other character you have in the game. So let's say you started off, you unlock dance cards, which will tell you what type of breakdancing moves you just unlocked and stuff. And I usually do that. I like to get familiar with the controls, get to know the characters, and every character, they're different. So one character might have more power than others. They probably are better with floor dance and stuff like that. So make sure to learn about the character. And the thing is, too, you can't repeat the same moves over and over. Yeah, you'll get points, but the way how you get more points is when you're doing totally something different. Then the crowd reacts like, wow, man, this is a dope B-boy, B-girl. So make sure to do that. Try to do unique moves that will get everybody's attention. And sometimes the crowd will request, hey, do something. You will see like an icon on the side. If you do that, you will get even more points. And you see the crowd getting hype and so on. So the thing that I was kind of like, I didn't really like it that much because I wish there was like just a straight up freestyle mode that I could just dance whatever I want as long as I want. Because I feel like some of the songs is a little bit too short. But the thing that I don't like is I forgot the name of it, but it's basically you have to go with the rhythm. So I think it's between, all right, so you will have 2 sessions in one song, right? So in the middle of that session, you will have to do like the beat. You have to like follow the beat, the drums and so on. So you have to like click the buttons and stuff. And then after you do that, then you have to press it as much as you can to get more points. That part, I don't like it that much. I prefer just strictly freestyle, dance, and battle. So, but once again, this game is very, very short. You unlock a lot of new characters, a lot of new locations. I didn't really care much about the story because I was more about the music and the dance. That's the thing that it was like that stood out to me the most out of everything in the game. So yeah, download it right now. If you have a Nintendo Switch, check it out. It's called Floor Kids. It's available now at the eShop for $19.90.
Gamertag Radio is on radio.com.
You can now watch Gamertag Radio live on Twitch.
Get all the latest news and coverage related to the gaming industry.
Join hosts Danny Pena, Paris Lilly, and Peter Toledo.
Don't miss the crew record the podcast live Sundays, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time or Wednesdays, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Get involved with the conversation, send us questions, and be part of the show.
Gamertag Radio.
Follow us, twitch.tv/Gamertag Radio.
All right, so we're back here, Gamertag Radio, episode 724. And before we wrap it up, very quick, I was having this conversation with Paris here before we recorded at the previous episode. We were talking about the Spider-Man game. And I know just a couple days ago, Sony just released a brand new trailer of the animated series, animated movie that's coming out next year, which I think that the Spider-Man game probably going to come out around that time. I think those two relates, man, together, man. I think we probably will find out what's going to happen with Peter Parker, because this one, he's older, right? He's
Yes.
older. But in the animated movie, is he alive or is he dead?
We think we're going to see different multiverse versions of Spider-Man. So there is a Peter Parker, an older Peter Parker that Miles Morales is talking to in the animated series, but that may not be the Peter Parker from his verse, because it sounds like the Peter Parker in his verse is dead.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
So is it possible that he might die in the game and then go straight to this?
I don't think so, because I think Sony's going to want to do multiple sequels of this Spider-Man game, right? And Peter Parker is still the most recognizable Spider-Man. Now, we've already been established that Miles Morales is in the game, but I think he's probably still just a little kid. He isn't Spider-Man yet. And maybe they build up to that. Maybe by like the third one, all right, now it's Miles Morales or in there or whatever.
Question, because I don't know much about this character. How you know he's in the game? 'Cause I haven't. Is he?
It was in one of the trailers. They say his name.
Oh, okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. All right. So this is a prequel to maybe. Well, it looks like it's a prequel to the movie. Then
we don't know.
No.
You don't think so?
No.
Oh, here goes.
Here we go.
Here you go.
Page 68 of Amazing Spider-Man 832, panel 6. It specifically says that Miles Morales.
This show's supposed to be G-rated, so I'm not going to say what I really want to say right now, Paris. No, from what I recall from seeing the game, game footage at E3 and stuff like that, the character that's the protagonist, I don't recognize from the comics. So I don't know if this is going to be a story that we've actually seen on paper or whether trade paperback, graphic novel or anything. This doesn't seem familiar to me. So again, I don't know all, 4 volumes of Spider-Man and Spectacular Spider-Man and whatever. But yeah, this doesn't seem something that has been a plot within one of the storylines that I've ever seen. So,
all right, any feedback, please hit us up. Fanmail at gamertagradio.com. Also, you can find us. What happened?
Yeah, no, and let us know what you think.
Or
do you
Discord.
Have any? Do you have any plot theories on how the Spider-Man game is versus the Spider-Man animated movie and or movies that are coming up? Let us know.
Definitely. All right, so December 20th, we're recording our last episode for this year. And it's going to be our Game of the Year episode. So it's going to come out, for those that don't watch Twitch or anything, it's going to come out December 21st. That's when the official release date of our final episode of for this year, 2017. And I'm excited because we're going to have a lot of great conversations about all these great games that we've been playing this year in 2017. Overall, our thoughts of the year and everything, man. And anything else you guys want to bring up during the conversation next week? No? All right. No? That's it? All right, so we're going to be out, and I'll see you this Thursday. Last episode of GTR 2017. Peace.
Thanks for listening to Gamertag Radio. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.